In today's video, I am going to be breaking down Mike James, one of the best European pro basketball players right now. So, what makes him so good? You're going to find out today, and what he does, you can incorporate into your game as well. Especially if you're in Canada like I am, we use FIBA rules, so we can really do this in game. So let's get down, let's check this out. If you want custom basketball training programs, make sure to go check out the link that is down in the description below. And if you like CoachLens, which is the app I'm using to be able to draw on the video, make sure to go check that out down in the description as well. One thing that Mike James does extremely well is the fact that he is able to move off ball really well, as we see right here. So what does he do right here? Well, when that pass from the corner over to the point happens, look at the defender. Number one, he is out of position. He is not really playing defense. His back right now should be to the baseline. He should be standing somewhere, maybe in this area right there. And he should be able to have one eye on the ball and one eye on Mike James. Mike James notices that he's out of position, so he does a quick jab on that left foot, which then loads, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a tip right now. If you get onto your toes, right, and let's say, for example, you want to go in this direction. Well, if you can load, and we see that happen right here, where he does a quick jab off of this foot, that is actually loading the Achilles. That is not just a fake to be able to fake out this defender. It is loading the Achilles so that he has more springiness and speed and acceleration to be able to attack the basket. There is nobody there, so he has a wide open lane. His teammate Smart, he's got his head up. He's going to be able to hit Mike James with that pass, as we see right here. And of course, that allowed Mike James to have the open, easy layup. Now, we have to understand that basketball is a physical sport. And why I say that is because right here, Mike James was running essentially just right in front of his defender, just had a little bit of a lead. Well, one thing that you can do is you can lock your defender in jail, which is basically locking him on your hip or your back, as we see right here. Mike James then takes one more dribble. He slightly pushes off. We're not going to ignore the fact that he stuck his arm out. Referees could call that at the youth level, but look at the distance that he was able to gain from that small slight contact. That was going to allow him now to be able to pull up for that mid-range jumper. If we see this in full motion, we can see that yes, he was able to cut off his man, he made contact, and he was able to score off of that contact. If you make contact with that defender first, before the defender makes contact with you, you are going to be at the advantage. Now, this coach is upset because, of course, there are rules against this. You can't just cut off a player and stop and then lift your arm up, as we've seen here, to push. Now, he didn't exactly push that defender. However, depending on the referees, that could have been called an offensive foul. If you are to do this move yourself, you have to make sure that this arm doesn't happen. Okay, so he gets the dribble handoff right here. He turns back around, and now he's going to use his center as a screen and roll. And in Europe, they do run more defensive schemes than what we are normally used to seeing in the NBA. And right off the bat, as soon as he doesn't even really use the screen, these guys come up and try and blitz him. These defenders here haven't totally zoned up. They're not really paying attention. He's looking over here. He's looking somewhere over there. This is the only guy who's really actually paying attention to this whole scheme. And Mike James notices the blitz right away, passes to the rolling screener. The screener is then able to collapse the defense. He's collapsed now multiple players. Of course, there's a lot of options that are happening right here. And of course, this is then able to finish with a floater. However, we can also see that in this play, this could have been a screen for this guy. This guy cutting, obviously, he's worried about him. He's going to be worried about him, which means that this guy could have been open for the kick out three, potentially. That was a pretty solid screen. He didn't move, but we can see that how these plays develop. Okay, so here we have Mike James. He's sizing up his defender, and what we do see when he is sizing up his man is the fact that he gets his shoulders really low. He gets his shoulders quite a bit lower than his defenders. We can see that right here. And what this allows him to do is it allows him to have leverage. And by having leverage, you can now get past your defender quite easily, and you can even lift him off your feet if you're strong enough so that you can actually easily get by him. It's called bully ball in my opinion, but he's able to get his way past that defender. He's able to cut in so that now that defender is in jail. There's nothing he's going to be able to do. And then Mike James is able to go out with that underhand scoop shot, scoop layup, whatever you want to call it. I know there's a lot of coaches. I know David, my nephew, who I post on my channel a lot, he does these underhand layups all the time. I get a lot of comments that I end up deleting who keep on telling me off about how I should teach him how to do an overhand layup, but those are not the types of layups that you see in game. It's very rare to do an overhand layup, and they're generally blocked. Now, Mike James is a right-handed player, and we do hear a lot of times, especially with younger players, and I know he's not a young player, but what you see a lot of is a lot of teams will either try and force the man sideline on offense, which gives if it's on the left side, it gives the right-handed player an advantage, or at the younger levels, they'll say, oh, force their left hand, because they can't go left, Well, first off, my 11U team, they're U12 in Canada, but 11U in the States, they can dribble with both their hands. And I love it when coaches will scream out, force him, we can. We'll force him, we can. Well, guess what? If you are forcing a right-handed player to go left, and they are trained to be able to dribble right and left, guess what? By going towards his left side, as we see right here, and obviously he's trying to fake this out. This guy's coming over to help out, to really overly force that sideline, and they're running a blitz-style defense where they want to try and zone up anytime a man goes towards the sideline. And when that happens, well, guess what? Because he's a right-handed player going towards that left side, that allows his right side to be totally in line with the basket, which means that he's going to have a faster shot and a more accurate shot. So by forcing a right-handed player left, in some cases, it can work for your strategy if you're looking to trap or whatever along the sideline, or if you're playing a zone where you're saying no middle and just trying to force sideline. It works. That strategy works. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but what I'm saying is if you are a smart player and you're right-handed getting forced left, do a quick sidestep out, as we see Mike James do here, and we'll put this in fast motion right here, where he does that quick sidestep out, and he's able to make that shot because his right side is in line. Mike James is an amazing basketball player. Really quickly, make sure to go check out my custom basketball training programs down in the description below, and CoachLens if you are interested in apps that allow you to draw on top of the video. But Mike James is a fantastic basketball player. We can learn these tips, these strategies that he uses so that we can incorporate them into our game. I hope that this video has helped. If it has, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again in my next video.